Hi everybody, hope you're doing okay at home. I know that some of us are probably missing our sewing programs that we get to do at the library, so I wanted to give you guys a quick video walkthrough of an upcoming sewing project in case you want to get started on working on something at home. And if you do make one, just post a picture below and let us know how it turned out. The project I'm going to work on with you guys today is a quick zippered pencil case. So the materials that you're going to need for this project are pretty small. You're just going to need two different kinds of fabric, and you're going to cut out rectangles that are 9.5 by 5.5 inches. So you'll need two from the fabric that you're going to use for the outside of your pencil case, two rectangles that you're going to use for the lining of your pencil case, and again those are all 9.5 by 5.5 inches. You'll also need a 9-inch zipper or a longer zipper that you could cut down, and of course you'll need some thread to go along with your project. Okay, so to get started, you're going to get one of your lining pieces of fabric and put it right side up. You're going to take your zipper and you're going to place the zipper along the right side of the lining fabric, and you're going to line up the edge of the zipper tape with the edge of the fabric there. You can let just about equal amounts hang over the edges on the short sides. You're going to make sure that your zipper is facing up, not down, so you have the zipper facing like that. And then you're going to take one of your outside pieces of fabric and you're going to lay it on top of here right side down so that the raw edge of your fabric again lines up with the zipper tape and the fabric underneath. And then you're just going to either pin or clip along this side to hold that fabric and the zipper in place on the long edge. So our next step is going to be sewing all three of these together. If you have a zipper foot for your sewing machine, you can put that on so that you can sew closer to the zipper without the foot getting in your way. But if you don't, you can do the best with a regular foot that you can. It should still turn out all right. And we're just going to sew across this whole thing somewhat close to the zipper teeth that you can kind of feel under there with your finger. When you start getting close to the end that has the zipper, you can pause for a moment and kind of pull this zipper open a bit inside. And if you zip this down a bit, then you can get this zipper pull out of the way so that you can sew without it making a big bump. Let's see if we can keep going now. So after you have that side stitched, if you open it up, it should look like this, and you should see, if you fold your zipper with the top side up, that it's on the side that's going to be the outside of the pouch. So next you can just zip the zipper back up for now, and then we're going to work on the other side. So we're going to take this one that we sewed, and we're going to open it up, and you're going to fold it back on both sides of the zipper there, so that you have your zipper sticking up from your fabrics. And now we're going to attach the zipper to our other two pieces of fabrics. So you're going to take your other lining piece and put it face up. We're going to take the zipper and we're going to put the zipper face up, lining up with the edge of the fabric. So this is just a repeat of what we did on the first side, but we're kind of doing it as a mirror image. And you can just kind of let this other fabric that we already sewed just hang off in that direction. So you want to line up the zipper top side up with that edge of the fabric. Then you're going to take your other piece, that's your outside piece, and put that right side down on top. So again, just like before, you should have 3 layers that we're going to stitch, which is going to be the lining fabric, then the zipper, then your outside fabric. And then you can pin or clip this, and you're going to stitch on this side just like we did before. And again, you can open up that zipper when you get close to it if you need to get the zipper out of the way. Okay, so after you have that second side stitched, you should be able to open this up, and you have two sides that have the lining, and you have two sides that have the outside, and you should have the zipper looking like a functional zipper on the outside side. So what we're going to do now is fold our two outside pieces right sides together, and you want to line up your fabric edges there. Might get a little bit bunchy because you have the zipper in between, so you want to just let that zipper stay in the middle and line up your fabric edges. Then you want to take your lining pieces and fold them over, one on this side, and flip it over, and one on this side. So you should have the lining pieces on the outside with the good side of the fabric facing out, and they're enclosing the outside pieces that are facing together on the inside. And then what you're going to do is first just stitch this whole long end here. So we're going to do that first. Okay, so we're just going to stitch that long end opposite the zipper. I switched my foot back to a regular foot from my zipper foot, and I'm going to sew it with a little more than 1/4 inch of a seam allowance, and we'll just sew down this whole thing. Okay, now that that side is stitched, we're actually going to open this up a little bit by making sure that each side has one of each piece of fabric, your lining and your outside, and you're going to kind of flatten it so it looks like this, so that your zipper is in the middle, lined up with that seam on the bottom, and you want to make sure that you don't have fabric overlapping in the middle, that you've got outside fabric on each side nice and flat. It's important that you remember at this point to unzip your zipper halfway so that we'll be able to turn our project around. So you want to unzip that halfway, but keep this end lined up together here. And then what we're going to do, you can pin or clip this on either side, especially on this side, to make sure that the zipper doesn't separate. And then you're just going to sew down each short side. This one and this one, and again you can do just slightly more than 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're just going to sew this side here, and when you get to the zipper you can just sew right over the zipper as long as you're not using a zipper with metal teeth. With a non-metal zipper you just want to watch out for the little metal zipper stop at the very bottom there, and obviously at the other end it has the same thing. So you want to make sure you don't hit that with your needle, but other than that you can sew right over the zipper. Okay, so the last step we're going to do before we turn this project around is square off the corners. So you should have a piece that looks something like this after you stitch those small ends. And what you're going to do is reach into one of the corners and kind of flatten it out in the other direction from how it was. So you'll end up with a triangle. A triangle, and the seam of that short side will be right in the middle. So what you want to do is mark a line about 1/2 inch down from the point, and you can mark that in whatever way is easier for you, and then we're going to stitch right across that line. You can pin or clip this if you need to hold your fabric in place, but we're just going to stitch right across that back stitch at the beginning and the end, and just fold your seam over in one direction or the other. And then after you have that stitched, you're going to leave it flattened out for a moment. And you're just going to snip off the extra fabric and leave, about a 1/4 inch of a seam allowance there, and just cut off that corner. And then we're going to repeat that on the other 3 corners. So you open up the corner with your fingers in there, lay it flat. You want to make sure, now that we're on the other corner, that you leave this seam going in the same direction. You don't want to have it twisted like that, so we'll fold it in that direction. Get it nice and flat. Mark a spot 1/2 inch below the point of your corner. And then you're going to stitch across that, back stitch at the beginning and the end, and then we will snip off that corner. Okay, so you should have trimmed and stitched all 4 corners, and now we're done and we're ready to turn this project around. So we just flip it around so that it is right side out. You can poke out the corners with your fingers or a pencil eraser if you need to. And you should end up with a nice zippered pencil case, just like that. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed following along at home, and you can make your own cute zippered pencil case when you have a chance. And if you do, share a picture with the library so we can see what you've made. I just want to say thank you to the website Crazy Little Projects for the idea for this project, and I hope you guys enjoy making it, and we'll see you soon at the library as soon as we can.